Hello, my name is Chandra Lacoste. I am a registered nurse, Bachelor of Science training. Actually began my doctorate before I realized Western medicine is a scam. Anyway, well, there's a little bit more to that too. My ex-husband's an orthopedic surgeon, and we did move for his work as well. But there was also a lot more to that as far as why I never followed through. I started studying holistic health. I learned about energy medicine, which segues us into today's discussion. I am bringing to you some general entry level information about the AO scan by Solex. So the AO scan by Solex is a biofrequency scanner, and also generates for you a list of frequencies associated to any ailments that can be treated through the use of right frequencies or frequent. Well, we're not allowed to legally call them right frequencies anymore, so we call them biofrequencies. But there is a frequency for everything. There's frequencies that cause cancer, but there's also frequencies that cure cancer. And there's frequencies that cause illness and frequencies that cure illness. So everybody knows about radiation from your Wi-Fi, from various things that cause cancer. What many people are unaware of is that there's also radiation that can treat, that can help you to overcome it quicker, can be used as an augment with your Western medicine routine, or it can also be used as a first line treatment, depending on the depth of your illness and where you are in your stages. So I'm going to just jump right on into basic, like how to use the AO scanner and how to read your results. So the AO scanner is available to everyone and anyone, regardless of your medical background. Now, as a medical practitioner, I have been using biofrequency scanners and associated biofrequencies as first line differential diagnostic tool and then also treatment since the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. And I've seen awesome, beautiful, like miracles with this, especially when it comes to dealing with parasitic infections. Which there are a lot of frequencies within this machine and the other machine that I worked with that do beautiful things with parasites. And most of you are starting to become aware of the fact that parasites are rampant in our society, and yet very, very little discussion about that. Most illnesses, if you give somebody ivermectin or you give them treatments for parasites, the illness just magically goes away. So, you're like, oh, I got COVID, but ivermectin cured it because it is the underlying parasite infections that your body is usually fighting on a low key scale that you're unaware of that made your immune system weak enough for that virus to then overload you. And so there's also a lot of studies about, ivermectin and its antiviral capacities in dealing with dengue and malaria and various other things as well. So it's definitely worth doing some research about ivermectin, but also about doing research about the use of frequencies in treating parasites, especially in cultures where the pharmaceutical world has shut off your ability to have access to antifungals and anti-parasitics. Okay, so let's just segue right on over to the AO scanner. So I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you've either already signed up or you're getting ready to. So if you've already signed up and you got your app and you can sign in right now, I'm going to take us over to the screen for AO. Okay, so this is the AO. Let's see if it'll let me open my screen. Sorry, I'm fairly new to using this share screen thing, so we're going to see if this is going to let us do that. Okay, so this is open up to myself because I just did my morning scan, but we'll go ahead and we'll start with a different client. So I'm going to search my existing clients, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up my son. I'm going to go with my son Samuel, and so I'm going to say search. And so here he is. This is my youngest son. Okay, so with a new client, you will have entered in their name, their date of birth, their height, their weight, and you will have taken a 10-second voice clip, audio clip. So now if you're doing this from a distance, so if you're doing this for a family member or somebody who is, is not right there with you, you can have them send you an audio clip through WhatsApp or through Facebook, and then you can just play that to this, and it's oh my gosh, so accurate. But for the sake of this, my son's voice is already entered in here. His picture's already obviously entered into here. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a inner voice scan. So when I click that, I would, well, you know what, I'm going to have to just, do I want to go get him? No. Okay, I'll just talk for him. So the inner voice scan is preparing to speak. And so now it's going to record. I'm speaking on behalf of my son, Samuel Channing Lacoste. I am doing an update education for some other people regarding scans. I'm curious how this goes. Now this is my first time doing this, like speaking on behalf of a child, but is my understanding and from what I have seen from other people, that if you're doing this for a pet or for an infant child or a non-verbal family member, that you can speak about them and that it will pull frequency through. Now, I'm a Reiki master. I understand quantum physics and I understand the healing energies. And so I understand how that can happen and be accurate. I know that for my doctors and nurses who are Western trained and are unaware of the quantum field and how energies transfer, that might be a big leap for you. And so you may need to go and get somebody's voice directly. But for certain, I know of people who have said that they've gotten really good results on this. So I personally have not done any experiments with this yet. So let's go ahead and see what it gave us for a report on Sammy. So you'll get an inner voice report, which has to do with the emotions of that person. And let's see if this is giving us him or me. Conflicting beliefs for certain. My oldest son is at an ashram, King James oriented ashram, which is very, very difficult for my youngest son. He's has a hard time listening to contradictions. He's a very ancient soul and he has internal knowings. And so he's very quick to educate about the truth of the situation. He's been having a difficult time with that for sure. Let's see. Conditional love versus unconditional love. Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, he's having a hard time with that. It's like, clean your room. It's like, I love you regardless of whether you clean your room, but you still got to clean your room. Oh, it's not love. No, that's still love, dude. Trust me, someday you'll thank me and so will your wife. Suppress, yeah, that's him. Aw. Repetitive thinking, creative thinking. I don't know if that's him or not. I have to ask him about that. Okay, so anyways, this gives us a psychosocial emotional breakdown. Now, whether you want to believe that this is specific to my son or specific to me and my voice frequencies, that's up to you to determine, because without having you go through an entire education on quantum healing, Reiki, distance healing, astral projection, and how energies work and all of that, it would be very difficult for me to explain that. But if you would like education on those deeper levels of energy healing and doing that consciously yourself in the absence of a machine, for that matter, even being able to tap in with a machine and get quantum energy information, you can certainly let me know about that. Okay, so after you've done your inner voice scan on a person, you're going to come back out of here. Boop. Get out of here. And you're going to go and you're going to do a vital scan. So this vital scan is super, super sensitive. And I've done blood work on myself before and after frequencies testing and found it to be spot on. I'm talking my cholesterol, my hormones, everything. When I was pregnant, it was showed up HCG. It shows when I was ovulating. This has been so absolutely spot on. I had a friend who was having blurred vision and was having mild stroke-like symptoms. The scan found where the occlusions were in his head. And also was able to help him with his nausea and all that and stabilize him so he could get to the hospital. Another person who had taught me about this machine had a doctor friend who had a similar experience also with a stroke. So having this kind of technology available at home does give you the opportunity to be able to quickly throw yourself on the scanner, quickly optimize frequencies, anything that we can do with the frequency to stabilize your biofield, to get you in if you need any like biological interface, if you need any surgery or you need anything deeper than that. Obviously this can save lives. You can buy minutes, hours, or even just straight up save a life just by having this handy, or something like this handy. So now I'm going to say scan. And so after his scan, I'll say optimize frequencies. So this is where the quantum science of things comes in. So I will have an option to send the person the frequencies, and I do send them the frequencies so they can play them again. But this is, it's tapped into the IP frequency basically of this person, in this case my son Sam. And so the frequencies will be fed back through his frequency, which is already downloaded in the system. So this right here is kind of like from a I'm a Gnostic. So from my standpoint, looking at this, I can see this as like kind of like a security risk, because like we can tap into somebody's frequencies as easily for healing. You should also understand that means that these people who want to shorten our lifespans, they're capable of and do tap into our biofrequencies to cause illness. So we've got frequencies coming from the 5G emitters, we've got frequencies from our televisions, from our radios. I mean, you name it, there's frequencies coming from all over the place. Even our music has been changed to reduce the frequency to make it to where it causes chaotic feelings within us instead of harmonic feelings within us. So it is really important to understand about frequencies and to consciously choose to optimize your frequencies. I listen to solfeggio tones when I'm sleeping. Sometimes I'll put on various attunement meditations for my chakras, depending on how I'm feeling, to balance my energies. Okay, so anyways, now I'm going to click optimize frequencies. And so right now it's just going through and anything that it found a frequency interruption within his meridian systems that could potentially be helpful, it is giving those frequencies back. I have a nephew, horrible post-diarrhea all the way through his kindergarten year, got introduced to this technology. So for that Christmas, came up to the Regenua 3, which is a machine that does similar to get his frequency, because it didn't do the audio and the image. And it caught the parasites in him, and we did the frequencies for him. He had his first solid stool in his entire life. Breastfeeding to formula to food, he always had loose stools. He did explosive. I was like mortified for him in my bathroom. Solid stool the day after his first frequency treatment. So the bottom line there is that it was parasites the whole time. They had done food allergy treatments. They had done a basic, the basic parasite scan, the basic worms and parasite test on his stool. But the thing is that he had things that were outside of the normal, because he liked to, he grew up in Oregon and got, moist soil and all kinds of stuff going on there. So there were things that their standard, 4 or 5 top things that cause issues were unable to be found in their test. But in the biofrequency scanner, it caught that there were issues, and it was able to give him the frequencies that he needed to get rid of those nasty little critters. Okay, so now that he's optimized, you have an option of a classic report or enhanced report. Now, if you are a clinician, I'm going to tell you go with the enhanced reports, because it's going to give you a scale of like 1 to 9 of where the frequencies are in the person, and give you a better idea of like where to go from there as far as like ordering blood work to follow up or whatever it is that you need to do. It will, for me, is a great differential diagnostic tool. But what I find for people who lack the medical understanding, that could be very confusing and even frightening, because it gives you a lot of stuff there that we would ask more questions, but they might just go, "Oh no!" So really, I'm going to tell you, if you lack the medical background, or if you lack a connection with someone like myself who can give you further education on whatever it is that triggers over there, that you should stick with the classic report. The classic report is only going to show you if something has triggered a really high frequency, like you need to go take care of this right now. I'm going to go ahead and click enhance reports because I do believe my role, I was recruited into this team to help with the medical side of things. Okay. Oh no, my screen isn't giving you colors. Okay, so you've got a scale of 1 to 9. Usually there's a bunch of colors here. And I do believe this solar energy is messing with my device. I don't know if you guys are having colors on your screen or not. Okay, so as you see, optimal or balanced, 4, 5, or 6, somewhere in the middle. Okay, so there is a normal amount of pretty much everything within our system. And so to have a small trace of it or to have none of it can be normal depending on what we're talking about. So if it's something that you normally have nothing of, then you would expect to see a 5, which would mean you have nothing of it in there. If you've got like a tiny bit of exposure to the frequency of that, biologics of that, you'll start to see it going one side or the other. Now, you'll see it go towards the higher number if it's causing you to have inflammation, pain, it's hyperactive, it's making your body become hyperactive and respond in that kind of way. You'll see it causing diminishing function. For instance, if it's causing something like constipation, it's causing your blood pressure to go lower, it's causing you to diminish in function. Okay, so if you're going one way or the other, as a clinician, you'll understand this is either causing this person, anxiety of some sort, some kind of inflammation. We'll just go with that, right? It's inflaming the issue. If it's diminishing function, we're going down from the scale. If it's not supposed to be there at all, you should have a 5, right? Okay, so this goes into food sensitivities. This can change. Your food sensitivities can change from day to day, week to week, based on your current health. So like, for instance, if you have a cold right now, you may normally be great with milk, but because you have a cold and milk can increase your mucus, you might find that it's causing you to trigger higher, which you can see here. Sammy had a cold before, and so you can see his previous scan. Milk and butter had been a little bit of a trigger for him, but he's well now, so he's not having that issue. Okay, so well, he doesn't like dates, so I guess that's fine. Let's keep going through here. Yeah, we don't have raspberries. I see. So anyways, go through here. And so if you were going through here and you came to us and you were in some kind of acute situation, obviously you would avoid foods that cause certain things. If you want something to cause you to have hypoaction, like for instance, some people eat cheese on purpose to slow down their bowels, and they know that's what it does, and they do that on purpose. Okay, so you can be a conscious consumer. It's important to be a conscious consumer. Okay, so we get down into the blood. We'll move past the food stuff and move into the blood workup. So on the blood results here, for myself, I have gone, like I said, and I've had my blood work drawn. I've done my dad's scan and my father's scan. He hadn't told me that he'd been recently exposed and had a respiratory infection. He had not told me that he'd had his blood drawn and that his vitamin D was low. He didn't tell me any of that stuff, but the scan pulled all of those things up for him. So there's a lot of things that, if you see them on here, it's worth following up. I would definitely tell you as a clinician, if you see something trigger on here, like his thing's triggering low on cholesterol, it's like, okay, that's causing him, he needs some good fats is what I would say if I was looking at this one, and I am. So I'll go make him something with some olive oil for dinner. But so anyways, we're going through here. I would say, okay, his immune complex right now is low. He's obviously, he's getting over a cold or gotten over it or almost there. But looking at this, his neutrophils and whatever else is going on here. As a medical practitioner, I can tell you that, like, I know that he's getting over a cold right now, and this is indicating that. So we'll keep going on down. Oh, another great thing for you to know. Let's go over here. You can click on. It's most of them. They're supposed to have the information on here. Okay, ladies, if you're watching this video, I'm clicking on the blood values and it's not giving the description, and it used to give the description. And it's also not giving me the color blocks. So I may be ditching this video, but we'll just go ahead and we'll post it just so that we have some content. Let's keep going. So you're supposed to be able to click on each of these and it's supposed to tell you, like, okay, for instance, this one tells you about what trans total is. But you're supposed to be able to click on each of those and it's supposed to tell you what each of them is and give you like a basic rundown of what this is, right? So if you're finding that there's something on there that you triggered on and that you are concerned about, if you're on my team, Nadia's team, Phoenix's team, feel free to send me an email. Heck, if you're on somebody else's team, feel free to send me an email. I do get overwhelmed but, a little bit because I'm dealing with a lot of things. But if you've got something going on, send me an email, chandralyn1122@gmail.com if this failed to pull you up what this is about. But also if you have any just like blaring stuff and you need somebody to go over it and help you to create a plan of action with your diet, your exercise, whatever it is, from the biological standpoint, you're welcome to contact me. I do consults, sliding scale. So whatever you're able to afford, you can donate. If you're unable to afford, that's fine too. I'm a priestess. I do what I do out of love. So feel free to, send me your situation and I'd be happy to meditate over that, review your results and help you put a plan in action. Okay, so we're moving on into gastrointestinal functions. And so as you can see, if it's a big trigger, it's going to end up in this one side margin, as I'm sure you're figuring out. But you can see he's doing fine. He's doing fine. Let's see, his fibrinogen's low. Yeah, I could see that. He doesn't like to. We don't eat meat. We eat eggs and cheese. And I try to get him to take supplements, but he doesn't like to listen to me. Regarding the B12, oh, he's doing good. Okay, so anyways, if you're going through this and you found, for instance, okay, he's high on arginine, but he's healing right now. So I know that arginine is important for restoration of tissues and things like that. So this triggering high for me, looking at this as a clinician, I say, okay, well, let's look at what's going on around him. What's he going through right now that would be making these things high? And so for me, I know that it's good for him to have these amino acids up there a little higher right now as he's healing from his cold, right? So everything else is looking great. Looks like he could use some more zinc, which everybody knows is good for if you got a cold. He's doing good on his B vitamins. Oh, he must have taken a supplement. Good boy. Let's see. And yes, I do use this to spy on my children. Let's see. Mental clarity. I'll definitely go have a talk with the boy. Okay, so disc degeneration showing up on a child like this. Well, first off, it's showing, obviously, instead of inflammation, it's showing the opposite. This is showing that he's stiff and that he needs to get out and exercise. And it's normal for him to have his bone alkaline phosphatase up higher because he's growing. You'd also likely expect to see like HGH and all that higher too when we get down there for kids. So we're looking through this stuff, like I was saying. This is a lot of information for a normal person who lacks a medical training. So it's important for you to know who your medical trainers are, or the people who are in your upline that can give that information to somebody if something pops up that makes them concerned. Obviously you can print this out, you can take it to your doctor. A lot of doctors have no idea about biofrequency, so you can educate them. You can send them my way if you like. But this is a good place for them to start. They can look at that and go, okay, well, let's order some backup or, substantiating blood work and find out what's going on with that, right? So let's see, his testosterone, he's too young for that to be a Let's see, keep going. So So here we are. You can see his liver and gallbladder function. His ALT is elevated right now. That's pretty normal after an illness as well. What you want to do is be monitoring for that. And so if you're a clinician and you're using this, the person does not need to come back to your clinic to do a follow-up scan, and nor do you even have to do another voice. You can just go straight to this vitals based off their last scan, and it will tap into them, and you'll be able to see these things adjusting or not, and give them that report by email, and then they can adjust their diet or whatever accordingly. Or you can order follow-up blood work if they're continuing to have some issues. He's getting his first zit. So cute. No, he literally got his first little zit on his chin. He's 12. That's not good. I need to follow up on that. I was unaware about the dangers of vaccines when my babies were babies. And so I gave them the same ones that I had. And I have autoimmune issues with my thyroid that started right around when I hit puberty. So I definitely will follow up on that with him. But again, he's recently been sick, so that could just go right back to normal here in the next week. So this goes over like allergies and stuff. I already know he's got some tree pollen allergies, same as me, grass allergies, same as me. Let's see. Looks like he's been exposed to some bacteria. Ooh. Let's see. So these are all triggering really low, so they're not causing him any issues. I just follow up on that. And for myself, I am a holistic healer. So when I see something like this where anything's triggering with a bacteria or fungus, I increase the amount of garlic in our diets for at least a week. You should be having at least like 1 clove of garlic a day to prevent things, but that's very difficult to get kids to commit to. As adults, we tend to we crave it. Our bodies know we need it. The kids, it's like until their bodies start breaking down to the point where they intrinsically desire it. It's like you're like, here, take this. I'm trying to prevent you from getting sick. but yeah, so he's been intrinsically very attracted to highly spicy foods, which are anti-parasitic. So that's something worth knowing. Let's see here. So this is like normal molds in the environment. As you can see, he's got this one here. It's giving him a little higher reaction. Yeah, 'tis the season. Okay. I will focus in. Okay, so for myself as a mom reviewing this, as I'm seeing this, I'm like, okay, we're increasing our garlic. We're increasing his vitamin C for a couple weeks. Oh, sorry, I didn't go through the heading here. So parasites. Parasites are everywhere. I have my family, we take ivermectin, 12 milligrams once a month. And then anytime that we see, chemtrails or any weird fog or anything like that, and it generally keeps us really healthy. My oldest son teaches English at an ashram near here. And he came back home for Christmas break with the childhood hand, foot, mouth, which is what everybody got, that had been mutated through the vaccinated children at the ashram, because my children have already had that as children, as toddlers, and I already had that. So there's no reason why we should ever get it again, except for the fact that these diseases are now being mutated through changed DNA. And so there's a huge outpouring of childhood illnesses coming back to adults, because the bioweaponized mRNA jab has created mutated variants. So that's a whole other conversation. So viruses, as you can see here, looks like he's still got some stuff that he's pushing through. What's Sammy been getting himself into? Okay, so another thing worth noting, if you see a trigger on here for something like hepatitis, herpes, first off, herpes can be cold sores in your mouth and can be all kinds of stuff, so you should know that. But another thing is that having a trigger here can mean either you have an active infection, or you could have been around someone who has an infection, exposed to the frequencies, and so you should repeat that test. Generally, I'd say next week. Now, hepatitis. A lot of people will trigger for a hepatitis if they have been ill, because it causes issues for the liver having to fight back on the parasites or the viruses that you're dealing with, and then having to filter all that dead tissue out and the toxins associated with that. Okay, so that was that type of scan. So now if you wanted to come through here, there was a spot there that you can click email the person the scan, but there's a library of frequencies. So here's Sammy, and I can say like custom playlist. And for instance, I've already created a bunch of custom playlists, but we'll go ahead and we'll create a new one just so you can see how to do that. So custom playlist, we'll say Sammy. Okay, so now you can go through and you can obviously do for various energetic stuff. I'm going to give him an EMF shield on there, like on there, good. So the EMF causes all kinds of stuff. So we'll go through here. Generally, when I'm dealing with these frequencies, I'm looking for the medical-based frequencies to send them. And then if there's still, because you think you can put up to 15 on here, if there's still some left, I go back up and then I add in, the abundance and all that other fun stuff. So adding in some acne frequencies. He's doing that. We'll do both of these. And we'll give him that one too. And he didn't have any of that. So anyway, so you go through here and you'll find your various diagnostic codes or whatever, and click those, and then it'll create a frequency list for them. And so we'll give him this one because he's been tired a lot lately. And so it'll create this audio, and you can email the audio to the person. You could play it for them. I've created playlists on my YouTube of specific ones for parasites, fungus, things like that, just for general use. Let's see, because he's in the. So you probably can use some hormone balances, just going through that stage. She's so cute. He's always had a deep voice, but it's just starting to crack. It's so cool. Let's see, we've got mosquitoes around here, so I always want to keep those anti-malaria frequencies going. Let's see. Ringworm's a big one out here. And just a moment. Okay, and that's affirmations. I'll let you see that just so you can see it. So doing these various frequencies for addictions and things like that, very, very powerful for people. Obviously for Sammy, we'll give him some mastering of stress. That's for sure. Good for everybody. And so this gives you the frequencies. Now, if you know about holistic healing and what the various herbs and flowers and stuff like that do for your healing, this is great for energizing either the person or crystals or water with the various frequencies for specific healing. I think it's really awesome that they did this. The system that I first trained on never had anything like that. It was always very specific to disease processes. So this one has a lot more of what I'd call the woo-woo side of things, but at the same time, I understand the science side of that, and I very much educate people to be growing those things and actually eating those things. I have a medicinal garden on my rooftop and on my patio outside so every place that I can have exposure to sun. And I'm very conscious about what I eat and what I feed my children as medicine. It's like, like I said, the clove of garlic a day per person, making sure that we're hitting that vitamin C content. So always having like things like Jamaica or guava juice, or guava juice there, maracuya juice, so on and so forth. To keep those the vitamin C and antioxidants high. I promote raw chocolate with honey. So a lot of people say, oh, they keep the chocolate away from their kids, but I get raw organic chocolate, Oaxaca chocolate, and I have it fresh ground, and I have raw local honey. So I encourage those for the antioxidants and for the allergy protection that you get from having the local honey. Let's see here. So this is just more stuff that, you can either use these frequencies, or I totally endorse you to go and plant a garden. Now, obviously, not everybody needs all of these things, but these things, cocoa. Cocoa is great for the heart chakra, by the way. If you drink coffee normally, it'd be wise to switch over to chocolate. If you need a source for good quality raw chocolate, fresh ground chocolate, let me know. I'd be happy to go downtown and get some ground for you and ship it to you. I have to use DHL. But it's like about, let's see, last time I got it was like 600 pesos. So it's like $30 for a kilo, which is like 2 pounds, which is, lasts myself and my son's like a month. Let's see. So anyway, so this got all these different frequencies. Now, something really important about these frequencies for those of you who have older family members, or patients who are comatose, or patients who are just too sick to eat or drink, playing these frequencies makes a profound difference for them. Now, you have to keep the frequencies going pretty consistently, because the biological form is only able to do so much in the absence of the actual biologics, right? So if you're running somebody off of frequencies who's unable to eat, you need to keep the frequencies consistent. And so there's a way that you can put that on continuous, keep the frequencies consistent until that person is conscious and able to start consuming water and juice and so on and so forth again. In places like Russia, Malaysia, they run people on biofrequency scanner, optimizer, nonstop in the emergency and diagnostic departments for urgent care as a primary first line care. So let's see, there's more of these awesome various things that you can throw in there. Do your research on those, learn about them. Okay, so here we go. We've got ADD and ADHD support. I gotta tell you what, I've got instead of deficit disorder, I think I pay too much attention. Let's see where we're at. Should he have no? Oh wait, I was looking at his thyroid, right? Okay, so some thyroid support there. I saw he needed a little bit of bacteria detox. Now, when you're going through overcoming an illness, so you're overcoming virus, parasite, whatever, when you're overcoming a virus, your body, your natural defenses are down. So your natural bacteria, which everybody has natural bacteria, as I'm sure you know, you have E. coli in your colon, you have yeast in your groin, you have all these things, you have staph and demodite mites in your skin. Now, when you become ill, those can overgrow, and then those can cause an issue. And so I am a really strong supporter of doing a once every 3 to 5 year full bacteria, fungus, parasite, everything clear out. And then obviously treating as needed after that, or anytime that if you're changing your relationship or whatever, before you're with another partner or accept another partner, that both of you are completely detoxed, because one woman's bioflora is literally toxic and cancer causing to another. So if you're wondering about all the increased causes or all increased diagnostics of ovarian and uterine and all these other cancers, that's the introduction of one woman's very natural bioflora to another woman on repeat, and so in these times where men had multiple wives, these women were dying in childbirth, they were dying young because they were being introduced to other women's bioflora forcefully. So, now we are conscious and aware. So, refuse other women's bioflora. It's like, dude, if you're single, you're looking at, potentially entering into a sexual relationship with someone, say if they truly love and respect you, they will go through a full detox with you before entering into that to protect your health. And if they refuse, then move on. So let's see. Oh, we saw he had some mold stuff there. So, and just add some vaccination detox there, a little more virus detox. And we'll go over here, his inner voice. No, we already looked at that. So, I didn't play you his inner voice stuff, but it basically gives you a balance for the chakras that were out of alignment, which I will give to him to play for tonight. So let's go up here. So now this has created us a playlist. Get to the top here. Here's our playlist. We're going to save that baby. Okay. Oh, change the name. I know I do have a Sammy, don't I? Sammy demo. There we go. And so it'll go like this. Okay, so as you can tell, this is far from the most soothing frequencies that you ever heard, right? This is far from sounding like something that you just want to just like zen out and be like, yeah, this is healing me, right? I was like, okay. So one thing that a lot of educators fail to educate people about is that it is not about you hearing the sound. It's about your bio energy field being exposed to the frequencies. And so you can put that frequencies on a headset and you can just set that on your tummy because your aorta goes right through the middle of your body and all of your blood goes through there. But it's a very large vessel. And so if you put your little headset right over the soft spot between your ribs or right below your ribs or right over your abdomen, that will put those frequencies right into your system easiest. So that is actually the best way to receive these frequencies as far as when we're dealing specifically with these frequencies. Now, I'm going to go into the woo-woo side of things as a Reiki master. I have done distance healings for people and never sent them these frequencies, but I channel the frequencies through my healing. So when I'm doing my healing for them, I'm channeling the Holy Spirit, I'm tapping with their energy field, I'm sensing where their issues are. If it's something that can be handled through frequency, then I'm dealing with those frequencies. But I'm dealing with, okay, what is the metaphysics behind this illness? How is it and why is it that God, the creator, the matrix has given this person this, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and treat what they have, but we're also going to create a plan of action. How are we going to prevent this from happening in the future? And, address the metaphysics of it, any illness, any injury, any pain, any suffering, even if, it's like you tripped over that rock, you're like, well, I tripped over the rock and that's why I hurt my left knee. Well, there's a metaphysical reasoning as to why the universe made sure that rock was there for you to trip over in the first place, for you to hit your left knee, right? So you hit your left knee, by the way, it's a left side knee, has to do with something that you're out of alignment with a woman who you need to move forward in life, right? Okay, so look at the metaphysics of any injury that you have and deal with the karma to deal with that. And you will learn that you will heal in miraculously quick ways. I'm talking like some people just like that. It's like it's over. It's like it's an epiphany and it's gone. So pay attention to that metaphysics of things. But that said, those of you who need science and need these things, or haven't taken a course to learn, how to channel the energies as Christ did and as the saints do. This is a very powerful tool to be able to just like click in there, click, and give it to the person. But I really strongly encourage that everybody learns Reiki, at least to level 2, ideally a Reiki master level, where you also have a Reiki master who is willing to apprentice you for at least a year. If any of you guys take Reiki level 1 and 2, and even Reiki master or through another Reiki master, and you need an apprentice, or not an apprentice, but a mentor, you need an apprenticeship, and you are failing to find that locally, you are always welcome to send me whatever it is that you're dealing with, that you need further guidance with. I really do strongly suggest getting involved in a local Reiki circle of healers and learning how to channel that energy, learning how to set intentions and learning how to heal as Christ did. And then also understanding that, that healing as Christ did, it's like the healing that Christ and the saints do through their energy work. Those miracles only come for people who are seeking miracles, right? So, it's like, oh gosh, Chandra, this man over here, was completely cured and saved from cancer. And you look at him, he's live and he's well. But this guy over here, the same exact diagnostic, he failed to survive. He died, a month and a half later. The difference between those two men, this is real life story, the difference between these two men, these two clients, these two patients in my regenerative medicine clinic, is that one wanted to heal. One wanted the miracles. One wanted to connect with God. One wanted to make right all the karma and the things that had got him to the point where he was right there. And the other one was like, this is how I got this way. I'm going to stay this way. I'd rather die than change. So he died. So, just, you have to understand that. So for those of you who are healers, you need to understand that, and that goes for, your energy healing. It goes even like in Western medicine, when I was just simply dealing in like, here's your supplements and here's your whatever. When I was just dealing with those things, I was still like, hey, you have to take the supplement. You have to be responsible for whatever it is that we're talking about. It's like, if I create you an exercise plan and I say, okay, I want you to, first thing in the morning before you get out of bed, I want you to, do 11 leg lifts and, 11 arm lifts and whatever, I give you, this is what you want. This is what I have for you. It's like literally just 2 minutes of exercise. And I want you to drink a liter of juice or tea sweetened with honey or stevia if you need sweetening, or whatever it is that I give them. If they fail to do that, then of course they're going to fail to get better. So it's the same thing with, if I'm talking about your metaphysics, if I'm talking about your whatever else, if you fail to do the work, if you fail to do your side, then it's like there's nothing I can do other than just I can be your guide. So as I'm being your guide right here, I'll happy to be your guide in whatever aspect of things that you'd like. I do very, very strongly suggest everybody learn your energy body, your biological body, and understanding how those interface together, and understanding the truth of your eternal soul and how that also reflects into your health. So anyways, I think that's enough for this video. There's some more that we can go over about energizing crystals and things. I guess I could pull you back over there for that. Those same frequencies that were on that, let me pull that screen open. That same frequencies. So for instance, you have a person who needs continuous frequencies. One of the other gals had said that the crystals that were treated with frequencies, that they last anywhere from 2 to 5 days, because the person's personal frequency eventually pushes the frequency out. But I personally have not tested that. But they teach us to take your quartz crystal and play those frequencies to that crystal, and then give that crystal to the person to wear. And so that way they can take those frequencies with them. And that's something for them to be able to kind of life support, especially if you're doing this parasites for, you're doing parasites, nematodes, amoebas, anything like that has eggs, larvae, that the parasite itself or the adult itself is the target of the frequency, then you need to have those frequencies going for the life cycle of that particular parasite, amoeba, whatever it is that we're dealing with. And so some of those can be as much as 21 days. So it's important when you're going through that, if you do find yourself triggering for parasites and you're using frequencies, that you are using those frequencies for the duration of the life cycle, because you obviously have eggs and larvae that are in your intestines or in your bloodstream that are still producing, that need to be eradicated. So do look up what's the lifespan or life cycle of whatever it is that you're showing a trigger for. Alternatively, get yourself some ivermectin. I'm telling you, do a 1-week detox with ivermectin. Or wormwood tea. Look up the the protocols for wormwood tea. I hear it tastes nasty. I personally am a huge supporter of ivermectin. But you know, to each your own. Let's see here. Anything else? I think that's good. I was unable to get the color screen to come up. I had promised Nadia to do some education video with her, and I think that our scheduled appointment canceled. So I created this instead. So I'm going to go ahead and click end recording and send it to her.